Hello everybody, Calamity here, almost done with my filler arc, I promise. Today's video is going to be all about the fact that I finally 30-star fully cleared the Memory of Chaos. Now for those of you that are here from Genshin and are wondering what this is the equivalent of the Spiral Abyss. Memory of Chaos is definitely some of the hardest content that Star Rail has to offer, and it works in a similar structure. Now, unlike Genshin, Star Rail only took me about like what 6-7 months to actually finally clear, whereas Genshin Genshin actually took me over a year before I could finally fully clear 36 star, like fully clear it. And part of the reason why it was so much easier for me to do this a lot faster than Genshin is, well, Star Rail is definitely the kinder game when it comes to, gacha pulls. I'm able to pull on a lot more banners for both the character and their light cone in this game, so I have access to a lot of 5-star characters already, despite this account not even a year old yet. A lot of 5-star light cones as well, and that definitely just makes things a lot more easier. I should be having some gameplay popping up on the screen so you guys can see my teams that I used and how my attempts went. I should be showing what at least my successful attempts went uh, when I did the Memory of Chaos. Now, the one thing I do want to talk about is that you definitely need to play around the memory turbulence if you're struggling. I'll give you some tips of what helped me clear MOC a lot easier. Unlike Genshin's blessings when it comes to the Spiral Abyss, usually the blessings in Genshin, I kind of like, you can kind of ignore them or just kind of just like do whatever, just use the same meta teams that you're using and you'll pretty much do fine. Here though, like, because I don't have access to like all the characters and all the best light cones and amazing relics and stuff like that, playing around the blessing, or in this game the memory turbulence, is going to help you a lot. This is actually not the first time that I've fully cleared the Memory of Chaos. I was able to do the last one, but I wanted to prove to myself that it wasn't just luck or just a fluke, or the memory turbulence was really OP or anything like that. So I was able to do MOC 30 stars back to back, and definitely playing around it helps a lot. So if you're watching in the future, this part's not really going to be helpful for you, but the memory turbulence, I'll just show you what it actually is for this cycle, is that it will apply what's called a memory imprint on a target, and when you damage that target, other unit or any other enemies are going to take 30% of that original damage. What this essentially means is that you can bring a very like single target DPS character like Sealy, for example, and you hard focus the unit or the enemy that has the memory imprint, and then you'll actually be doing sort of a pseudo AoE damage to all the other enemies that are on the field, which is really nice. I will say though that this, specifically floor 10, took me many tries and I had to experiment with a lot of different teams. I was trying, different team setups, different light cone setups even, and just trying what works, what didn't. I got close with a couple teams, but it wasn't quite there. I'd be short a couple cycles, or if I went to like glass cannon setup, then I had characters getting knocked out left and right, and it just wasn't a good time. For me, what ended up working was, even though like the way I usually structure my teams in Star Rail, I usually pick like a tank unit like Traveler, March 7th, or if you have Japard, characters like that, and then I usually bring a healer like Bailu, Natasha, Lynx, etc, etc. And then I usually have a sort of sub DPS or like a debuffer or a buffer, and then my main DPS. That's usually how I structured my teams for the most part. And in Memory of Chaos, I kind of don't have the luxury of having a team setup like that, because it's just not enough damage to kill the enemies in time, and you're definitely just using too many cycles, and that's really bad. So as you can see on my teams, what I ended up doing is I have to like hard carry, like I pick one character to be my hard carry. So on the first half, I don't know what gameplay is showing, I don't know what you're actually seeing, but the first half I use Kafka as my main DPS character. I do have Silverwolf to apply lightning weakness to characters that don't have it. to enemies that don't have it, and then Tingyun here to also funnel more damage for Kafka, as well as provide energy, right, with her ultimate to Kafka for more just damage overall. And of course, she's also our skill point generator, so is Bailu when she doesn't have to heal anybody. Also using Bailu, Tingyun, and Kafka means I have a 50-50 shot of applying a lightning weakness to an enemy when I'm using Silver Wolf. I do lose the 50-50 in the gameplay somewhere when I was trying to get the lightning weakness on the ape. It just kept getting Quantum, which was not what I wanted. And yeah, also Bailu kind of serves as the sort of tank in this team as well. What I tried to do was use Bailu's skill right before the ape got his turn, so that if anyone was going to take those slams, it was going to be Bailu. Since she has the most HP, you build around HP so she can heal more, and she has like some 5,000, 6,000 HP at all times, so she was the best one to get hit. But each of the characters on that team could at least take one ape slam. You know, granted, the turns don't end up being in favor, or I mess up and I accidentally use someone else's skill before the ape gets his slam turn thing. And yeah, there was always just, just in case I did get hit, they would be fine. Unfortunately, the biggest downside to Bailu is that she doesn't have any sort of cleanse for any sort of CC effect. It's one of her biggest weaknesses. But I was able to just power through it, and I was able to complete the first half in about 5-6 cycles, most of the time. Sometimes it would take me 7, but those would be kind of bad runs. Now on the second half of the Spiral, sorry, the second half of Memory of Chaos, I used my Jingliu, and I am not happy with how my Jingliu is built, so I'm not going to show you her relics. They're really, really bad. I kind of had to just slap on whatever I had at the time, and I'm still, actively farming for her traces and her relics and stuff like that. But Jingliu, regardless of my poorly built relics, is still a very, very strong character. And fortunately for us, a lot of the enemies on MOC 10 are weak to ice, especially in the second half. So doing the first wave with the big centaur green archer dudes isn't too hard at all. Just use Jingliu. She has a lot of AoE damage. She doesn't really have to play around the memory turbulence blessing here, because at least on the first half, like, it doesn't matter. Like, she has AoE damage with her skills, so you don't really have to focus one target, or she can't really focus one target anyways. And then when you get to the bugs, well, there's only one elite unit in that fight, and it's always going to be the main bug. So even if you brought single target, you can always just focus the boss, and it'll do damage to the smaller bugs. I also brought Bronya here because my Jingliu's speed is awful, and Bronya fixes characters with really bad speed. Also, Jingliu is one of those characters that definitely needs a lot of turns, so she can always be in that, I forget what the mode is called, but basically when she takes her blindfold off and does more damage and stuff like that, you want her to be in that as often as possible, and to minimize that downtime, and you do that just by giving her more turns. And the other character I have here is Welt. Now I know Pella would also be a good character to use, but Welt has the benefit of doing like a little bit more damage, because when I used Pella, maybe I just wasn't doing the rotations right, but my damage just wasn't enough, and I ended up being a few cycles short of being able to 3-star it with Pella. So I used Welt instead. He has a bit more damage, and of course the ult being really, really good. Lynx also helping me out a lot, because if the bugs debuff any of my units, it's basically over. The problem is if it's Lynx that is the one that ends up getting I forgot what it's called, enraged. If Lynx is the one that gets enraged, then I'm in big trouble, and then yeah, I basically have to reset the run, which is kind of annoying, because just like Genshin, you can't like reset one half. You have to redo the whole floor, which can take a long time. But overall, Memory of Chaos, it's a very fun challenge. I had a lot of fun tackling it. It was just as fun as it was frustrating, although I would say like MOC in this game compared to Spiral Abyss is a lot less frustrating, at least for me, attempting it. Like, I don't know, it's just fun to like try to figure out teams, what works, what doesn't work. things like that. It's always fun to tinker around that kind of stuff. I'll try to make more guides in the future for MOC for those that are struggling with it, but the only reason I'm not is because I feel like I just barely got by. I barely got by with the with my own teams, and there's definitely a lot I can improve myself as a player, like making my rotations a little bit cleaner. I can also, you know, just improve everybody's relics, because honestly I feel like all of my characters' relics are just not really good right now, especially my Jing Liu, just lacking so much speed. And once I feel like I have like really good team setups and cleaner memory of chaos clears, I'll definitely try to come back to this and do more guides, and try to do some guides on MOC. But that's all for now. I just wanted to share that I'm happy that I was able to clear MOC is all. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching. I'll have more videos out soon, because we have the live stream program coming out tomorrow on the day of recording this. Don't forget to leave a like and or subscribe if you like this kind of content. I will be making guides and more stuff in the future, so please stick around for that. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
退け。代価を払ってもらう。我に力を。始めよう。君らはこの畜生同士。君らに選ぶ余地はない。 殺せぬぞ。我に力を。くだらない。月光を剣とす。この月下で全てを照らさん。